as the Cavs look at this, are they thinking about the seeding as they look at their path? What's going into that whole thing? And I know you've written an article about that.
Well, Kenny admitted it the other night before the game against the Golden State Warriors that it is something that he is looking at. Um, I've never heard a coach be so public about that. I don't think the players loved that because it's a bad reflection on them and it kind of makes it look like they're ducking teams or they're quote unquote afraid of certain opponents. But yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of teams around the NBA that are looking at, look, if you're in the Western Conference, you want the Lakers right now. Of course you do. Or maybe you want the Minnesota Timberwolves right now because you feel like those teams are vulnerable in the state that they're in. And sometimes winning an NBA championship requires luck. Sometimes it's about the road that you get to travel in order to get there and who you get to avoid en route to that NBA championship or that finals appearance. So, yeah, I think if you're asking the Cavs in a private moment, they would say deep down their top priority, if they were listing what they would consider favorable for them, it's avoid Boston. It's avoid Boston until you absolutely have to play them. They're the best team in the Eastern Conference. They're the favorites in the Eastern Conference. And they're a completely different team since Jason Tatum came back from his Achilles tear. So if you can get a path to the playoffs where you can stay in the 4-5 slot, and you only have to play one of Boston or New York, that's favorable, no matter how you look at it. Because Boston and New York are the two biggest threats to the Cavs getting to the NBA Finals. If they were to move up to the 3 seed and they were to overtake New York for that, now all of a sudden they potentially have to play Boston and New York in the same playoff run, and their chances of making the NBA Finals, I would say that they dwindle. So I don't know that the Cavs are looking at this saying, oh my God, we're scared of Boston, or oh my God, we're scared of New York. But I think they're saying, who could beat us? Who could beat us in a 7-game series? And is there a pathway for us to avoiding that many teams? The problem, Dave, is I think if they were listing the things that they would consider favorable, their top 2 are stay in the bracket that they're currently in and maybe avoid Atlanta, surging Atlanta in round 1. And those two things aren't necessarily correlated. So they might have to pick which one they would consider more preferable. And I would say that's play Atlanta in round 1 and wait until the conference finals to have to play the Celtics.